Welcome to the Seed Creative Podcast, the podcast where we discuss both video production and just life in general. The goal of this podcast is the same as the goal of our business, to make a difference in people's lives.
What's up, bro? Moths out.
Coughs out, moths out.
Goes in reverse, too.
Moths out, coughs out. So it's coughs out, moths out if you're like, hello, and then, all right, moths out, coughs out. Yeah.
That's the new fad.
This makes no sense.
Let's make a shirt.
I was just thinking that.
Really?
Hive mind, here we go. Coughs out, moths out. It says that on the front, and then moths out, coughs out on the back.
The podcast is already going, by the way.
Okay.
Hello.
Hey.
I love our little pre-conversations. They're always my favorite.
Yeah, let's keep it in.
So, welcome to the Seed Creative Podcast. Today, we're doing something totally different, and
Who are you?
I'm Nick. I'm Nick
Okay.
Nick Golden, not Nick Coker. Nicholas Coker. And this is George Edmondson.
Hi,
Yeah.
it's me.
So, today, Christy's not here. I said last episode.
We tried. She will be here,
She
though,
will. She
at
will.
one. We're going to just keep teasing y'all to keep y'all coming back.
Let's just say that's another thing every episode.
Yeah.
So
We could also talk about Corey not being, he came back from Home Depot.
let's tell that story. That's actually pretty funny.
Yeah, we'll tell that story later.
Let's tell it right now.
Okay.
So basically, Corey Daniels, is that his last name?
Yes.
He did all our like painting and like carpentry work.
And built our psych wall
Built
for
our
us.
psych wall. And there's just one little tiny like strip of metal on the very front of it. That's like basically the last thing that needs to be done that isn't like stuck on there.
Yeah, the psych wall.
The psych wall.
Like, it's not a big deal. It's fully functional. It's just like an aesthetic thing.
Yeah, it just, I don't know, it keeps people from tripping. I don't know. So anyway, it's just weird, this little piece of metal that needs to be like glued on, or I don't know what he's going to use. But
Yeah.
Anyway, he said that he was going to go to Home Depot to get it.
And that was what, 4 months ago?
And he
3 or
never
4
came
months
back.
ago. And he never came back. And so we would always make this joke because it's this piece of metal is on the front of the psych wall and it will not, like, it doesn't stay on. So, like, it's really easy to just knock it off and it just falls on the ground and it's kind of loud because it's metal. And so every time that happens, we'd be like, oh, Corey's still at Home Depot.
And it just gets us every time.
And it's just so funny.
And then yesterday,
We
he was
saw him.
outside. He
Yeah.
came back.
Yeah, he came back, and we were like, oh, Corey's back from Home Depot. And he had no idea what we were talking about. And so I brought him in and showed him, like, a different part of the studio he's going to do something on. And then I said, hey, just, whenever you can get to it, if we could do this piece of metal. And he just walked up, he goes, oh, dude, I completely forgot about that. And so then I was like, crap, it's not as funny now. Because he, like, fully admitted, he's like, oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot to come back and do that. And I told him the story about how we always would say that he's not back from Home Depot. So I guess that joke is now dead.
I like the thought that Corey going to Home Depot is like us going to the Apple store.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, look at that. And then he just like totally
He
forgot.
totally,
He
was
found
like
this really
so
cool paint.
excited about, some paintbrush or something. Corey, we love you.
All right. So anyway, today we're talking about something totally different, which is marching band, because George knows nothing about it. And I also
Nothing.
want to use this opportunity to educate the people because it's important. And
Yeah.
and I'm going to teach you why. And
Okay.
also, I just want to give a disclaimer that do not make fun of us for our janky setup, and please forgive my
It works.
2015 MacBook Pro. That is very warm. I just
It's going to just catch on fire in front of us. We're just going to stare at it.
It's done its job. It got me all the way through high school and now college. So
Yeah.
that's pretty freaking good.
It is.
So if it dies right now, I'll be sad, but I will have my peace with it.
It'll be all right.
So anyway, George, what do you know about marching band?
Not a lot. And I'm glad that I'm learning a little bit more about this too, because Ryder, my 14-year-old, is in marching band.
Right.
And this year was his first year, and he's done really well. But the teacher knows that I play drums, and I think that it's just a lot of people just assume, oh, well, you're a drummer, you must have played in high school or college,
Right.
And they'll be like, oh, so did you play snare drum? Did you play bass? And I'm like, no, I didn't do any of that. And they're like, oh, but you know how to read music. And I'm like, no, I don't know how to read drum music. And they're like, well, it's really easy. And then I look at it and it just looks like a bunch of mumbo jumbo to me because I don't know what I'm
Right.
looking at. So then Ryder's like, Dad, help me with my homework. Help me with my practice. And I
have no
don't know
clue.
what I'm doing. So maybe this is like a little baby step into understanding that world a little bit so that I can be more useful in the future to my son, but also because it's an interesting topic and it's not something that a lot of people know about. And there's this whole world, this whole marching band world that is out there that a lot of people might, I don't know, better appreciate if they see and hear some of the things we talk about today.
I might blow your mind today. We'll see. Because
That'd
I
be
think
wonderful.
there's things that, for instance, did you know there's basically a Super Bowl level event of marching band? Did you know that was a thing?
No,
Isn't that crazy?
it is.
It's every year it's in Indianapolis. It's called Drum Corps International Finals. It's
Okay.
a huge deal. It sells out the whole stadium, which we'll be watching in a second. But I think something that a lot of people don't know is marching band is technically a sport. People call it a marching art, but marching band classifies as a sport.
I did not know that.
And I will try to relate this as much as I can to a normal marching band experience because I come from, if you know anything about marching band, Texas and Indiana are like these two insane places to be in marching band.
Okay.
And what I mean is, in high school, I practiced more than any other sports team. Like, period. End of story. No contest. And my high school marching band was harder than what I do in college by
Interesting.
a mile. And so, because the music was harder, and a bunch of stuff. So I'm just going to explain to you like you know nothing, because I'm going to assume that the people watching also
Explain
know nothing.
Explain this to me like I'm 5.
Did you say that yesterday? It was Coker.
It
that
was
said that yesterday.
Nicholas said that. It's a Michael Scott joke.
Yeah.
The Office.
So anyway, so the way marching band works is pretty simple. There's music and drill, the two separate things, and you tend to time the music to the drill. I'm not going to explain how drill works because that's going to get too into the weeds. But essentially, the easiest way to explain it is most music is in 4 for the most part. Now for these,
See, I know that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I know more than I think I just let on.
yeah,
But I don't know how to just look at a piece of paper and I can just, like, do it cold. Like, I would have to study it. You know?
yeah, and there's like I said, so most music is in 4, and most like normal marching bands march everything in 4, and it's broken down pretty simply. 8 steps every 5 yards. That's like how it starts.
8 steps every 5 yards.
So like
Okay.
if you're going from the 10 to the 15 yard line, it would take you 8 steps, and we call that an 8 to 5. I'm not going to go too much more detailed in that specific thing because you can get really in the weeds. And if you're not marching straight like yard line to yard line, which 99.9% of the time you're not, it's different. So I should also preface right now, I'm in the $1 Million Band at Alabama. I mean, I guess technically I'm done, but I'm still technically in it.
Oh, that was
I know,
sad.
big sad. And my dad was a marching band director. He is semi-retired now. He like clinics. He's playing golf. I guarantee you, if I text you right now, he's playing golf in Florida because that's what he does now.
Nice.
And anyway, but he was a huge inspiration to me growing up, and for a long time I thought I wanted to be a high school band director, and then I realized I loved video. I've mentioned this before too.
Yeah.
So anyway, so then you have the drill, and then you take the music and you time it to the drill, and you have to like write it. Like you can't just like get a piece of music and be like, oh, there's 8 measures here, I'll write drill. Like you have to plan the sets, is what they're called, which is like each individual picture, and switch in between them. Does that make sense?
It does.
I hope I'm.
So when
if I'm
you
not
say
explaining it
each
clearly, let me
individual
know.
picture, you're talking about the image that the band creates
Yes.
from like a bird's eye view.
Yes.
Got it.
So, like I'll put some pictures on the screen to explain, but like a good example is like, in college, like we have like the script A, which is
Yeah, I knew,
Alabama's
yeah.
logo. That is a set. That is one set. But there's a set right before that that is the Big Bama spell out.
So do you always want to get from one set to another in the same time frame or same amount of steps?
Yes. So you're already onto something. So the hardest part about marching band is not making the sets. It's what you're doing in between the sets.
Right.
Because you have to get there the exact same way every time, and you have
Everyone
to get there
has to get there at the same time.
at the same time, and you have to take equal size steps to get there.
Right.
And what's hard about that is, like I said before, you go from point A to point B, and it's not like the 8 steps to 5 yards, like I just said, because you're either covering more distance or less distance, and you have to like calculate as you're moving how many steps it's going to take to get there. So like, I think from the Big Bama spell out to the script day, I'll put this on the screen, it'll make sense. I have 32 steps to get there, and it has to be equal. And I cover a crap ton of distance. I go like 25 yards or something in 32 steps.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty far.
Yeah.
So
Big steps.
Yeah, and I'm also playing the hardest part at that point too. I
I was
going
going
to
to say, so it sounds to me already like this is called marching band. The hardest part of this is not the music.
Well, yeah, true, but for college. But when we go to when I start showing you about competitive marching band, which is the interesting stuff, the stuff they're doing is crazy.
Yeah.
They're like, there's this thing called jazz running. I'm not getting too in the weeds, but there's this thing where like they're essentially running and playing at the same time, in step. It's crazy. So I did like the beginnings of this kind of stuff in high school because Texas is crazy. Okay, so I started school. Like school started at the end of August. I was at band camp mid-July every day, 12 hours for a month and a half before that. And that the football team doesn't even start practicing until 3/4 of the way through our fall camp.
Yeah.
And that's because we have to do most high school bands that compete at that level do 100 sets every show in 8 minutes. So to give you from what you've seen, because I know you've seen us perform, pregame has like 30 sets. So it's like, and it's about the same length. So we're basically tripling it. Anyway, that's all the boring stuff.
So what you're saying is y'all work harder than the Alabama football team.
No.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
We don't work harder than the Alabama
was a
football
joke.
team. I would say some of the drum corps might.
Yeah.
In the amount of time that they do. So now let's just talk about general stuff. So marching band, there's 3 different levels of it. There's high school, college, and drum corps.
Okay.
High school is high school, college. Drum corps is like a blend of the two, and it's these organizations that tour over the summer, kind of like a rock band would.
Yeah.
But they tour all over the country, and there's a lot of them. There's actually not really a good one in Alabama, but there's like, I don't know, a couple hundred of them. And but the best out of the best ones, there's like 12 to 15 like amazing ones. My favorite's called Santa Clara Vanguard. I actually have a sticker on the back of my laptop, so it's a nice little prop piece for this. But they are like essentially professional level musicians. Now you can get into it between ages 16 and 22, so there's like a limit. And there's like an age out, so you can't do it forever, and that it would just be weird for 40-year-olds to be sleeping in a gym with 16-year-olds.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
So anyway, so the best people in one of the videos I'm about to show you are 16 years old.
Okay.
And the first one I'm going to show you is a high school that is 10 miles from my house where I lived in Dallas.
Okay.
That is one division higher than me, that won the state championships this year, to give you like a little taste of what it's like. I'm not gonna play the whole thing because it's 12 minutes long, but these kids are 14.
The 14.
Yeah,
Okay, that's
yeah.
how my son is 14.
Yeah, these are a bunch of your sons.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Weird.
You have a lot of children.
I do have a lot of children. That is a true statement, actually.
So this is called Hebron High School. All right, George, here we go. So Hebron High School. This is 2021. This is one of my favorite high school shows I've ever seen. Okay.
Got it. All right, so I already noticed they're making some sort of a form. Is that
Yes.
that's
called opening
that's,
set.
That's a set.
Yes.
Okay, that's opening set. And what is the people that do the flags? Is that called color guard? Okay, so color guard and marching band work together. All right, so how many?
There's like
Okay,
four-
all right, I see. So some people were taking like tiny little steps.
yeah, but some
other
taking
people-
big steps.
and they're making the same amount of steps.
Yes.
What are these cannon things?
What cannon things? Those are pens.
What are those?
They're like pens.
Oh, okay.
So that they're
like a pin, so it's a prop.
Yeah. So there's props in the show too.
Okay,
this is
I
actually
didn't know
pretty
that.
low on the prop levels.
Oh wow. Okay.
Like when you see the next video, I'll show you. But like, so those are like fountain pens, and that's the theme of their show. So that's the thing is like in college we kind of just play like pop shows that are just like, oh, we're playing the Beatles. This is like a story. Like they're like
Interesting.
And I guess I should have probably pulled up one from my high school too, but like ours was a story. Like best example is my junior year. We did one called Red Sky, and it's about like sailors, and we used the famous phrase "Red sky at night, sailors delight; red sky in the morning, sailors take warning." So there's like it starts peaceful, it transitions to night, and then there's like a storm that comes, and like the sailors are like about to die, and it's like intense. And
So it's almost like an opera.
yes, so that's
Interesting.
why people call it a marching art. Like that's like the
Got
word
it.
people like to use because you have to be super athletic and also good at instrument. It's like
Right.
crazy. So that's
Yeah.
why people don't like people just think it's like
You're just
cool.
playing an instrument and walking around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like if you walked normally and played, like it would sound like crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so that's funny, and that actually correlates a little bit into what we do. I think that you are really good with the Steadicam and with the Ronin because you literally do like a marching band sort of
Yeah.
step.
I backwards march. Like I literally can't walk backwards without backwards marching anymore.
Yeah, and I think I walk that way too, but it's because I've just like I'm so used to
Learning.
doing the Ronin and the Steadicam and stuff like that. But it is funny when you watch someone who has done marching band use a glide cam, a Steadicam, or Ronin. It's like they just automatically know how to walk, and then
Yeah.
you see someone that doesn't, and they start walking, and that Steadicam is bouncing up and down, and that you know what I mean. And it's like, well, you have to walk like your heel to toe has to be like in sync, and
You're
you know
already
what I
getting.
mean.
You're already, heel to toe is a word we use all the time.
Really?
You just
See,
nailed
I
it.
didn't know that.
Yeah. See, so
But it's just it makes sense. You walk with your heel, and it like I don't know. It just
it's called a roll step. That's
yeah.
what it's
Okay.
called.
Well,
so
that makes sense because that's the way I walk when I have a Ronin or something.
when you think about it for a second. Picture yourself. You're backing up with the Ronin.
Yeah.
Do your heels touch the ground?
No.
Yeah.
When
That's
you're
backwards
back,
march.
Okay, so
Yeah.
when you're backing up, it's almost
your
inverted.
heels don't touch. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like inverted. But when you're walking forward, it's heel first.
Yes.
And then like you kind of roll into the where your toes are.
And that's why going backwards to forwards in marching band is so hard because you go from this to the next step.
It's like
hold on,
literally
this
reversed.
to that
Yeah.
in one count.
Wow.
And that's just like one thing that you're doing. So it's like I've thought about this a lot. Like the things that are going on in your brain is crazy because you have memorized music, memorized where you're going 100 times, and for 8 minutes, and then you're also doing a bunch of like visuals and stuff. Like it's crazy. Like the
but
brain
at some
capacity.
point too, yeah, at some point it literally becomes autonomous.
Yes.
And you just don't even think about it.
Well, that's why we practice so much.
Right.
'Cause
Like
you-
when I play drums, I don't even think about what I'm doing.
Like literally during the national championship game, I was thinking about the game, and at the end, I was like, "Oh, I marched the whole show.
Oh yeah.
what happened?"
Yep. Or like driving or something.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Continue.
Okay. So anyway, so this is like one of the more like technical sections are coming up. So I want you to really listen to the music.
I'm listening.
because it's like crazy. You're gonna be like, "How are these kids playing this?"
Oh my god.
Anyway, it keeps going, but let's skip ahead a little bit.
I'm sure. Yeah. This is a 15-minute. So they're nonstop for 15 minutes.
Well, okay, it's actually 8 minutes for
Oh,
this
okay,
this
okay.
style. There are 12-minute versions.
Okay.
But it depends. The contests have time limits. All right, let's see the front one more part. I'll cut this out.
I need to show Ryder this and be like, you think TCS could do this?
Yeah.
That's literally like their entire school on that field, though. They don't have very many people.
What do you mean?
Like TCS doesn't have enough people.
That's the
I think
biggest-
their entire marching band is, I'm just taking a wild stab, is like 25 people.
Yeah, see, my high school band was the size of the MDB.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah. So, like,
Jeez.
I'll just show you, like, a screenshot of it in a minute. But,
Okay.
So, like, these people, like, it's just crazy. And the thing that's really sad is a lot of it comes down to money. And that's the thing that makes me really, like, bummed about this kind of thing is this is another thing people don't know about. Maybe this is a PSA, but, like public high school bands outside of Texas and Indiana are not funded well. And that's
that's everyone knows that.
yeah,
Everyone's fully aware.
It's
aware
very
of that.
sad.
Yeah.
And
Because instruments are expensive and keeping them up and everything.
yeah, I mean, like, I'll circle it on the screen. Look at their front ensemble. I mean, like, that's like $2 million worth of stuff, maybe.
Really?
Or something. Yeah, dude, those xylophones each are like $50,000 at least.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, so like this our gear is not worth how much just that is, and that's owned by a high school. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
they just
that's-
can't keep up.
that's wild.
And this high school has 25,000 students or something crazy. I don't even know. It's a lot of students. My high school had or 2,500. Sorry. My high school had like 2,000. So
Yeah.
anyway, it's a bummer. And I mean, obviously there's a whole thing about like teachers not being paid well and stuff, but you know, it's hard. I just don't, my thing is, the reason I'm telling you this and the reason I wanted to do this episode is because this matters to me. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't die.
Sure.
And it's not dying. It's not dying as bad as like jazz is dying, but it's changing in a way that is scary. So anyway, I think the part I want to find is coming up. Yeah. Okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah, this is called jazz running. Listen to this articulation, you're gonna be like, what the heck?
I can't even get over how like the lung capacity of doing what they're doing
Yeah,
blows my mind.
Listen to how hard this hit is crazy. This hit's so loud. All right, that's just the opener. There's like 3 more movements.
Oh my
so we're not going to
God.
watch the rest
Yeah.
of it. But like even when you're standing still at this, you don't even get to stand still. You got to like do motion and stuff. And yeah, the lung capacity thing is like the most thing. So like we run a ton. Like we're doing aerobics all the time.
Yeah.
And that's why during marching band camp I lose like 15
Yeah,
pounds
you're like
every year.
skinny as crap during marching band.
Yeah, yeah. And luckily I've been able to like keep it now, because usually it's like during the winter I gain like 20 pounds back.
Well, yeah, but like when I saw you after like it had been the summer a little bit, and you came in, and it had only been like 2 weeks or something.
Yeah.
I saw you, I was like, bro, like you have, I guarantee, like, do you have like 2 sets of clothes?
No. But you see how baggy this is.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's like
a year ago I filled this up.
You were like,
yeah,
you were almost as skinny as Jacob.
yeah.
And Jacob is like almost non-existent.
It's just, I think it's because of the shirt. I'm actually 5 pounds lighter than I've ever been right now. So
Wow.
it's like, marching band did it though, because
That's insane.
I do it for 3 months
Yeah.
every day. So anyway, so
Maybe I should join marching band.
are you sufficiently surprised thus far?
Yeah, well, absolutely. Like there's a lot of stuff about this that I didn't. I guess it's like you see it, but you just don't realize it. You don't think about it until you know someone that does it,
Yeah.
and then you're like, "Wow, dude, you work your freaking butt off for this."
And the best thing is college band is kind of keeping everything else alive, because like no one cares. I know this. No one cares about our halftime show. I know that no one does, but people do care about our pregame show, because it's like hyping up the crowd, and Big Band with Spell Out. There's like traditions and stuff. And
I think that people care more than you think they do, because imagine if people came to the game and y'all were not there, it would be a big, like, people would notice.
I mean,
People would be like, "What the crap? Where's the $1 Million Band?"
I mean, like 50,000 people did sign a petition to get us back during COVID. So
See?
that's true.
People do care. Yeah, people do care.
But I'm just saying, like scale wise, people don't super care about halftime as much because we do 2 shows.
Well, they're normally like peeing and getting hot dogs.
Yeah, there are some people like I was one of the best
At the
things I've
same
ever
time.
learned. Yeah, my dad told me that he noticed that a lot of people stay, like a lot of the older Alabama fans will stay during halftime and leave at the beginning of the 3rd quarter. So they'll actually miss the beginning to stay and watch the band, which is cool.
Yeah, that's great.
So anyway, college band is kind of keeping the rest of this alive, like vicariously, because that's like the one that everybody sees. It's on College Game Day every week. Like people see it. There's basketball bands. There's all that different stuff. So, so that's high school. So again, all these people are significantly younger than me.
Yeah.
Like they're at least like some of them are 8 years younger than me.
Wow.
And they're better than me by like a mile. Like the best I've ever been was probably my senior year of high school. Like I've gotten worse since then because I just don't play. I don't play as much. And I'm not trashing the MDB. It's just like we're a great college band. It's just not the same thing. So,
Yeah, sure.
All right. So now one more video. This one is just a segment of a 12-minute show because I couldn't find the rest of it. This is drum corps. So this is the professional level.
Okay.
But
how old are these people?
They are 16 to 22.
Okay.
I think that's the right. It's around there. But you know what's crazy about this is you still have to pay to be in this because there's
Interesting.
not enough. There's like a weird market to where like the streaming makes money, but like and that helps the corps be able to, because the corps are like privately owned things, like they're their own companies. They're not owned by college or high school or anything. They're their own thing.
Okay.
So it's like like an orchestra or something.
Right.
It's its own company. So this is my all-time favorite show, and honestly, like the last good one since COVID hit, because they haven't had a season since 2019. They're called Santa Clara Vanguard. So drum corps is just brass and percussion and color guard. So there's no woodwind. So most shows have an opener, a ballad, and a closer is like how we kind of think about it. So this is the ballad for and we're going to watch this whole one because this whole one's awesome. So there's a lot more going on in this. You can see how many people were there.
Oh, this is not like a football game.
No, this is its own event.
Oh, wow.
So this is the finals of drum corps. And they have like these crazy props that like combine and stuff. Also, weird video thing. I really hate the multicam in marching band. Just as a
because you don't want to be able to see the whole thing.
It's MTV's fault. I'll go on a rant about that after.
Okay.
So what you can't tell because of the way they're editing this is there's 2 dueling baritone players right now. Like there's 2 different guys on each side of the field. I wonder what they used to live stream or switch. It's probably crazy.
Oh, yeah. It's huge.
Oh, that was weird. Also, they have new uniforms every year. So, like, this is their theme of that year.
It's interesting that some of them have their masks up.
That's part of the story.
Yeah, it's pre-COVID though.
There's a bunch of memes about that.
Oh wow.
So you can see the color guard coming through.
Yep. No sandbag on the C-stand. Got it.
That kid is 16. The kid in the middle. Wait till you hear how good he is. Like, how is he that good? How is he that good? It's the highest note ever in drum corps history. Anyway, that's the end of the ballad. So
wow,
there's props. It's a story. So the story of this one is actually about the Tower of Babel from the Bible. Right. So at the beginning they all can't speak, but they learn to speak through music. Is the story of the show. So it's pretty sick. Anyway, so so yeah, this is competitive marching band. So like every Saturday in high school football games are on Friday. On Saturday in the fall, I would have a contest that I went to all day. You perform twice if you make finals, and you're scored and you're competing against your friends that are right across the street. Like it's a whole thing. Like me and my best friend went to a different high school, and like we got into like arguments about it. Like there's one year, like this is awful, but like one year they messed up the scores because my high school was called Lone Star and his was Liberty, and both were L's, and they flipped our scores and they had to like do an adjustment. And we were like trash talking each other. Like we like met in the parking lot. I was like, oh, I kicked your butt. Oh, that's not what I was saying. I kicked your butt, bro. Like I got, and then they. And like but it was him. It was him first, and then they flipped it while we were arguing, and they were like made a correction announcement. And it
So
was
did you
awful.
lose or
no? I won.
Oh, you did win.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. And it was like, oh crap! Like it was like,
That's
yeah,
kind of funny though. Now, are y'all still friends?
yeah. We're
Okay.
best friends. I was at his wedding this December, so we're
There you
good
go.
after that. But yeah, and actually he became a band director. He's in school to become a band director because basically of me, because he actually taught me Final Cut. Because he used
Hey.
Final Cut Express in 6th grade.
Wow.
And him and I, he's the one that like we like looked up the Red camera and we were like knew stuff about that. Like that was my friend, and we both switched what we wanted to do. So he wanted to be a news anchor, and I wanted to be a high school band director. Now I do video, and he does high
Do you
school band
think that,
directing.
I mean, we have mentioned this, but do you think that there's like, why is there such a strong correlation between musicians and people that are into video?
I think it's because music was the first recorded thing, and I think it's just never changed since then.
Interesting.
It's, I mean, think about it. That's how you got into it. I mean, sort
Yeah.
of.
No, yeah, you're right. You're
because you
100%
recorded
right.
audio first.
Yes.
And which is good. I have to give a presentation later where I'm going to talk about you, and I need to remember that.
Oh, what? A presentation about me?
Yeah, it's for my class. I told you about it.
Oh, weird.
Don't worry
Okay,
about it.
you got to film it. I need
Oh,
to
I'm
know
not gonna
what
film
you say.
it.
What you say about me.
Oh, well, dang it. I was going to talk trash. Now I got it. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so I think that's why there's such a high correlation. And I also think that what 90% of the time defines a good edit is how the music is used.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
And sound effects, which is similar, but
Yeah, it is. No, it is, and it has to do with timing and rhythm and understanding. Like, give something a little bit of space, let it breathe for a second, or does it need to be cut, depending on the mood and emotion, and having an understanding of music, whether you can read it or not, just like internally, like. I think makes a big difference. So many people that are into video are musicians. You,
Yeah.
me, Nicholas Coker,
Jacob some, yeah.
Yeah, Jacob's a good drummer. He can play guitar a little bit. Mark Hendren, I'm gonna show him this podcast because he, I think, was in drum corps.
oh, really?
Yeah, and he's a big good friend of.
I need to know what core he was in now.
Yeah, I think he was. I might be wrong, but I think
Okay.
he's mentioned that before.
Okay. I think you've mentioned that before, so yeah.
And then, like, there's a guy named Chris Largen that I know that works for the university doing video.
Yep.
He's a musician. It's like it's everyone. Scott Balcom is a drummer. I don't know. I could just keep going, but
I think it's because also music, like, video is essentially a performance if you like really think about it. Now it's edited and it's different, but like, you know, performances started with music and then plays, and then people tried to film plays. Like the history of film is like,
Yeah.
they filmed little tiny scenes that would be like a play, and they based script writing off of that and started building. And now, you know, a corporate video is a little different, but like if you take a movie, for example, a movie is a play on
sure.
video.
well, think about this too, which is fun. There was no way to record at first audio and video simultaneously, and so silent films had music behind them.
Right.
And so, yeah, they tie in together a lot.
Yeah. And it's super sad to think about like stuff I wish could have been recorded, or like, especially music. Like imagine hearing like Bach's first performance.
Like their
yeah.
actual, like
Yeah.
him up there orchestrating and
Because
doing.
we can read the music, but we can never totally tell what he intended. You know, or Bach or Beethoven or whoever.
Interesting.
You know, and and a lot of like one of the like there was a Stravinsky piece in the other thing, like marching band plays orchestral music in it.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. And written for, you take music that's written for strings and like you can articulate with your hands, and you have to do it entirely like in your mouth. Like you have to do everything. That sounds really weird, but like it's crazy, and high schoolers could do it. So anyway, I think you're right. I think it is very all very related, and I think that's why it's awesome. And that's why, that's probably how I found it, honestly, is because I don't remember ever making like a decision about video, well, until I chose a school. But I think music brought me to it because I listened to music and
I
then I was
agree.
like, how is it made? You know? So anyway,
Well, this was fun, man.
do you have any, do you have a greater appreciation? I don't know how much this can apply to Ryder because I showed you like stuff that I can't even do, and like I'm older, like, you know what I'm saying? So hopefully you understand the basics better.
Yeah, I do, but I think that what it, if anything, it shows me is that there's, I guess the cap of what you can do with marching band, the threshold is so much higher than I guess I even really thought about.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people are like, "Oh, you're in marching band, all right, cool, and you'll be done and whatever." And it's like, well, no, I mean, you actually could make a career out of that if you wanted to.
Yeah, I mean it's very difficult.
Well, sure,
But
it's
there's
difficult,
like Marine,
but
there's
you can do it.
yeah, there's like Army bands and stuff that like do
Or
that.
being like what you were gonna do, like a teacher and stuff like that.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, and I mean, also there was a time I was trying to get into drum corps video, but it's like super tight knit. Like, all these people are like 50 that do it. So, what?
Just all these people are 50.
Well, I'm 22. I'm saying I'm only halfway to being
it.
able to get there. I'm not saying they're old. My dad's older than that, but anyway, I think it's super cool. It means a lot to me. I hope I didn't bore people too much, but I just support marching band, please. I hope I don't watch this in 10 years and it's like dying. So
I'm sure it won't die. History never dies. It's oops. Interesting.
Siri.
It thought I said that. Yeah.
History.
Stop it. History never dies.
I didn't.
Didn't do it. Yeah, and I mean this is part of that, and you know how much we love history. We actually made a historical documentary.
I thought I could see it coming. I could see it coming.
That we won an Emmy for, actually.
Well, we didn't, but yeah.
I did. And there were shots of the marching band in it, the $1 Million Band, very quickly. That's why you had those.
That's true, and it's in my documentary,
it's
which
in
we're
your
also going to break
documentary.
down at some point in an episode, because I thought that would be fun.
Because
I
was
can't
like,
show it yet.
Hey, I've got a bunch of raw footage, and you were like, "Oh my god, this is incredible!"
I was so excited.
Like you got the shot of when they like announced it and stuff, and we had like slow motion confetti and
it's
crap.
incredible. That's like one of everybody's favorite part of that. So we're gonna break that down at some point. Like I said, I almost did today, but I'm not sure if I am allowed to show it yet. So
got it
on a different recording. So anyway, I think that's been it.
Now we have to go finish the Motion VFX plug-in tutorial.
It's amazing.
It's a really good tutorial.
Hopefully it doesn't like fail after this, and we just like set ourselves up for doom.
It's not gonna fail. This thing is awesome.
Are you talking so close to the mic? Hello, people. We got these new pop filters a couple episodes ago. It's pretty great. But also I ran it through Isotope, so it's also amazing. Anyway, that was off topic. Thanks for watching.
We love you all.
We do.
Kisses.
Come back next Monday. I keep almost saying Friday now. Come back next Monday, and that's been it.
See ya.
Peace.
Peace.
This podcast was produced by Nick Golden with executive producer George Edmondson, edited by Nick Golden and Gavin Manning. Be sure to subscribe, drop a like and a comment. Tune in every Monday for brand new podcast content, and we'll see you on the next one.